Hello and welcome to the History Department at the Morning School. I'm very excited to be talking to you about the History GCSE course that we offer and why I think it would be a good option for you to take. The course that we look at covers 4 different topics: medicine through time, Weimar and Nazi Germany, the American West and early Elizabethan England. You will be assessed on 3 exam papers. There aren't any coursework elements to this course, it is just exam based. The first of those topics is medicine through time, and it's a thematic unit allowing us to explore one element of history and how that has changed and progressed and the factors that have helped it or hindered it in doing that. We'll look at case studies such as the Black Death, the Great Plague, cholera and lung cancer, and we'll also take a deeper look at the historic environment. In this case for us, it is medicine on the Western Front. We'll look at the treatment of soldiers, the type of injuries they were likely to face, and how this spurred on the development of medicine. The second topic that we'll look at in Year 10 is Weimar and Nazi Germany. This is an opportunity for you to really examine historical perspectives and engage with sources and analyse them and really use them as evidence to support your points of view and your arguments. The history buffs among you will notice that the time period for this is 1918 to 1939. So that is the interwar years. It's not the First World War, it's not the Second World War. It is what happens to Germany after the First World War ends, what leads to the creation of the Weimar Republic, what are its strengths and weaknesses, and how do those weaknesses then lead in part to the rise of the Nazi Party, and what other factors are at play there. You will notice for both of these previous papers that I've just covered, each have 6 questions in them, and that's not because they're short papers. That is because all of the questions in these exams are going to be essay based. The shortest questions that we have are worth 4 marks. So you are really going to have to go into a lot of depth. You're going to have to go into a lot of analysis and extended pieces of writing in all of these papers, and that is important to understand. The next topic that we'll look at in Year 11, and this is the American West, and this forms part of paper 2. We will examine conflicts and tensions that exist in the settlement of the West between groups such as Native Americans and cowboys. We'll look at other tensions as well, for example, between settlers and between railroad companies, and really look at how the settlement of the West impacts a number of different groups and unfortunately eventually does lead to the destruction of Plains Indians' way of life. The final topic that we'll cover is early Elizabethan England. And again, this is worth 20% and it also forms part of your paper 2 content. You'll examine here a lot of the intrigue that exists in Elizabethan court and 4 of the plots that all work to kind of remove her and put her cousin Mary Queen of Scots on the throne, the religious threats that she faced, the political threats both at home and abroad that she faces as well, how she deals with being a woman in charge and the prejudice she faced against that and the challenges and how she overcomes them. So that briefly covers the 4 topics that we'll look at. One of the other questions that you might have is, well, why GCSE history? And the reason for GCSE history is because it can teach you a lot of skills that you can apply in other areas of your life as well. It teaches you how to analyse. It teaches you how to look at pieces of evidence, be that on a Facebook article, on, in a magazine, on a newspaper, on a TV programme, and really kind of question how accurate is that. And it could also help lead you to a number of different careers as well. So if you have any questions about the history course that we run, obviously, please feel free to email me or any of your history teachers. We are very lucky at the school that we have an amazing department of history teachers who are all experienced in this course and will be able to answer any of your questions.